Good morning. Today, I'm going to spare the training details. There's no really any need for me to talk about training or show training today. It's not my favorite day anyway. So what I'm going to do today is talk about something that I've been wanting to put on camera for quite some time that bothers the hell out of me. And if you don't know what that is, and you've never seen a video from me, and you've never connected with me on Facebook, you will know that I absolutely loathe, all these contest prep gurus and all their nonsense. And here's why. Number one, when it comes to fat loss, contest prep, general fat loss, whatever, it all requires the same thing. Everything you do in fat loss requires you to strength train, it requires you to be in a caloric deficit, requires you to hit your protein, and when it comes to fats and carbs, it's pretty semantics. So we have a lot of gurus out there, a lot of contest prep kings and queens and whatever you want to call yourselves, that they give their clients the most ridiculous protocols, the most unfounded methods and ways to do things. And not only does it hurt their reputation, it actually is harming the bodies of the people they're prepping, that they're coaching, okay? Now this doesn't just stem from contest prep, because again, there are people doing general fat loss, general weight loss, and still following these ridiculous protocols, but I just don't understand. It's like, why must we make things so simple, so complicated? I get it if you might be sponsored by a certain brand supplement or some MLM, multi-level marketing, whatever. The fact is that none of that stuff matters, none of that stuff matters, and none of that stuff matters. So, one second. Now, we sit and we tell people that, oh, contest prep is so hard. Contest prep, you really gotta you gotta give it your all. You gotta, and in fairness, yes, you do. There is a slight difference in discipline and commitment from your standard dieting and how you just live your life and how you make better choices throughout the day, every day, and you're not gonna always be perfect, versus somebody who's in contest prep where you really gotta target, you really gotta be on point with your nutrition and your training. You really gotta make sure that, you're not overeating, and that goes for general fat loss as well, but when it comes to contest prep, you really wanna be on the money. That's why I never recommend contest dieting, or I won't even take clients who I don't think are ready to contest prep. And yes, I'm wearing a deep V-neck. You can call it douchey all you want, but I actually really like deep V-necks. I like the way it shows my pecs. Anyway, so the fact of the matter is that, we've got all these people who, they swear by intermittent fasting, they swear by keto, they swear by paleo, people who swear by one method of dieting, and on top of that, it being unfounded, when research has shown over and over again that when protein and calories are matched, the carb-fat ratio technically doesn't matter. When people stay dogmatic in their approaches, and then it's like they see somebody who's coming from my camp, let's say, who, I tell my clients, listen, I don't give a damn what you eat. Just make sure that it's a varied diet, that you're getting your fiber in, that you're not living off of candy, which I wish we could, but I've already had 2 teeth pulled out from that. And if you just hit your protein and, you stick with time, because that's really all you have on your side is time, you're going to be fine. And, when people look at this contest prep stuff, it just annoys the hell out of me when, for instance, I have a girl right now, shout out to Kristen, K-Hal, because she got married and then just so happy that her name matched. Her first contest prep was done keto, and when we got ready for, when she came to me and, we were discussing her previous training history, dieting history, and she's been with me now for over a year, so we've made significant progress. But she has a photo. I'm gonna see if I can find it. If I can, I will put it up here. And if you look at what she looked like day out, one day prior to her show on keto prep versus what she looked like now, 17 weeks out from her show, now we're gonna be about 16 weeks, significant difference. Why? Because guess what, people? You actually do need carbs, especially when you're gonna be contest prep dieting, because carbs give you fantastic energy, okay? Carbohydrates are your friend. Carbohydrates is the love of your fitness life. Now, doesn't mean that you just shun fats and that you gotta live this high carb, super high carb diet, whatever case. If you like fat, eat your fat. But everything has to be within range. And you definitely need to be consistent with your protein. It's just this whole competition nonsense where it's like, I can't eat this, or I can't eat that, and I'm scared of this, and I'm scared of that, or my coach says this. You know what? If your coach has no education, your coach has no education, period. That's what it is. But if your coach has education and knows that, guess what? When you are there are some ills of dieting for contest prep, and I'm not gonna pretend like there's not. When you get to really low body fat percentages and for a long period of time, women, it's a hormonal thing. You can lose your period, you can get tired, cranky, but same thing happens with men. You can lose your libido, you get tired, you get cranky, whatever. That just goes with being in a deficit for a long time. That's why contest prep is not and staying in contest shape is completely unhealthy as well. But if you're going to step on stage, one, have a package that you can actually compete with. Now, mind you, I'm a natural, always been natural. I have contemplated doing things before, but I haven't, and I've been open about that. But I compete against people who knowingly or will verbally say, or just kind of it's unsaid, unspoken of, that do things that you want to know what? That's fine. That's on them. Kudos to them. I want to make sure that I bring the best package I possibly can to the stage and compete with the dudes who are using whatever, because I know that naturally I can build a really great physique, and naturally anybody can build a great physique. You don't have to do that stuff. If you want or you so choose, that's your choice. Nobody, I don't condemn you. I mean, hey, I would love the program for you. I would love to just freaking give you all the volume in the world. But that doesn't go for about 99% of the population. So the thing is this, is that when you're gonna actually sit here and you're considering doing prep, one second. Know that it's not this end all be all, you have to have FOMO because you can't socialize and you can't drink this and you can't eat that. No, one, you're doing this for a plastic trophy and it's a hobby. You're not getting paid for any of this stuff. So your life doesn't go by the wayside because you're contest prep dieting. And it's also the best type of contest prep diet is the one that you can actually stick to. So you don't have to friggin' eat chicken breast and tilapia every friggin' day. You don't need to eat sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes suck. That's right, I said it. Sweet potatoes suck, they're disgusting. Except fries, but then they're fried, and I'm not gonna eat fries on my contest prep. That's one thing I'm not gonna do because I can't track that. But all in all, you don't have to eat certain things to achieve a physique that you think you need to achieve. And that goes from, again, general fat loss to contest prep dieting. You don't need to be like, I can't have this, I gotta stay away from that. No, it don't work like that. You're not, if you're in a deficit and you decide to have a pack of Skittles before you go to bed, guess what? That's not turning into fat. You're in an energy deficit. That means you are not going to store that as fat because you're gonna be utilizing that, because guess what? Think of it this way, when it comes to an energy deficit, the best way that I can explain this. Fat storage is energy reserves, right? So when you're in a surplus and you have a lot of body fat, or you have a decent amount of body fat, that right there is stored energy, the same way that when you intake those calories and whatever you don't utilize gets stored there, because calories is energy. You can't, I'm not a physics major, but I do know that the first law of thermodynamics is you can't create or destroy energy. You can only transfer it. So calories, food is energy. Fat storage is energy, okay? if you start to intake less energy, you've got to go to some type of energy reserve or some caloric storage to utilize for your bodily functions, for your energy, to all your body processes, right? That's how you burn fat. So you need to be intaking less food than you're burning, because then the body will burn fat as energy, from the energy reserves. Now, the lower in body fat you get, the harder it becomes. That's when the difference between that general fat loss and contest prep dieting is completely different. Because when you reach a level like, people will say, it's hard for me to lose these last 10 pounds when they've got about 20, 25 pounds of fat on them. No, it's not that those 10 pounds are hard to lose. It's just you're not doing what you need to do. You're not consistent in your protein intake. You're not consistent in your nutrition on most days. That's not hard. The last 10 pounds is hard when you've gotten into really low body fat percentage, damn near single digits, and you're trying to get that super thin skin so you can be your most muscular, most vascular on stage. And that's what separates. If everybody works to this line right here, this is your general fat loss, and let's say you work your way down to, I don't know, let's say 18% or 17% as a woman, which I think is still pretty low, and maybe 10% for a man, and then you want to get to contest prep dieting, okay, everybody can reach here relatively easy over a long time, but the contest, that last 10 pounds is what separates the general from the contest prep. And literally all it is time. No special protocols, no special this or that, no special supplements, no nothing. It is literally that simple. And if people understood this, there would be a lot less instant gratification, and there'd be a lot less, there would be a lot more understanding of actually what's taking place. The longevity of dieting, the longevity of that deficit, and the deeper the deficit. Because yes, to get into really low body fat, I will always preach, you don't need to freaking starve yourself, but there is an aspect of contest prep where you start to get, listen, your energy output has to be even higher than your energy intake, because you're really trying to burn those fat stores. Now, where does too much activity and too little food cause havoc? It depends. It's really person to person. I don't have a concrete answer. This is why we do weekly check-ins. That said, yes, after a long period of time, you then need to make sure that, once you hit that stage, boom, then you get right out of that deficit. That's why I'm personally not a proponent of reverse dieting. And I've spoken about this in a previous video as well. Reverse dieting is when you've been, if let's just hypothetically say, let's say you're an average trainee and you're dieting for 20 weeks and you've lost a really good amount. Okay, that's a real, and that's possible for a lot of people. Let's just call a spade a spade. It's possible to diet for 20 weeks, really make some significant changes, maybe 24 weeks. But there's gonna come a point where, dieting is a stress to the body. Not only the physical stress from training, but again, I've spoken about this before, it's the hormonal and the metabolic stress, okay? So let's say now you're in contest prep and you've been dieting damn near 30 weeks. Who knows, and I don't even recommend dieting 30 weeks straight without a diet break, especially as you're trying to get leaner and leaner and leaner. But let's just play the numbers game. You're dieting 30 weeks. Now you hit the show, you do well, or maybe you don't do well and you gotta, get back into building. Okay. Adding 100 calories a week is not to say that it doesn't work, because you're adding calories, but it's pointless, because what you're doing is, people have this fear that they're just gonna gain all this fat back. No, that's just not what happens. You're in a deep deficit at this point. Your fat stores are gone. Your body's going to utilize those carbohydrates. It's going to, and the fat. And what are you going to do? It's going to go right back to muscle with carbohydrate intake, and obviously with the sodium intake, you're going to put on a little bit more water weight. But that's it. That's all you're doing. I'll use myself as an example. I know I can't, I'm always a proponent of N doesn't equal 1, but I just competed back in December. It's not my first time in the rodeo, and I'm gonna tell you what happened. I got on stage on December 2nd at around 162, 161. I didn't care. I'm not gonna reverse diet. I got myself right out. The moment I stepped off stage, I was out of that deficit, or I was doing my best to get out of that deficit. Why? Because I just dieted for a long time. I got into the best shape of my life. And you don't just sit there and try to just add 100 calories. No, screw that. Why would the hell would you want to, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to now slowly come out of that deficit? No, the best thing to do is to relieve yourself of all that stress and just get back out of it. Go into maintenance. You're not, and this has been proven too. I want to say that, was it Alan Aragon and a couple of these other guys? I have to find that study. But they showed that reverse dieting and just going into maintenance really was no different. So again, eat all the food. Get out of that deficit. Yeah, you're gonna put on some weight. Yeah, for instance, after my show, I didn't give a damn about tracking. I didn't give a damn about any of that stuff. I was drinking, eating, whatever. Come January 1st, so in 3 weeks, I put on about 9 pounds. Literally of water. Hardly any fat. Because I started my mini cut January 1st, and guess what happened? After 21 days, I went from like 174 right back down to like 166, 165. I got rid of all that water weight. And now I'm back to around that right now. And I'm doing another little mini cut for the next 3 weeks. Get myself down to about 164, 163. And that's where I want to maintain because that's where I feel comfortable. I'm still lean enough that I can wear all the clothes that I want to wear, that I have in my closet, that I love to wear. But I'm also carrying enough body fat on me that I'm not show ready. And that's how you do it. So when you're contest prep dieting, it's no different than regular dieting. The only difference is the longevity and the deficit, the length of the depth of the deficit. That is it. You can still, the way that you were dieting and had your Snickers or your whatever that whatever little candy or dessert that you like to have that you were tracking, you can still have that when you're in contest prep. If that's what's going to keep you on your contest prep and keep you consistent, you can do that. You don't need to cut out everything. Now, mind you, you're going to get hungrier, so would it be wise to have Skittles over, I don't know, potatoes? No, it's not going to be wise to do that. Because potatoes are obviously more filling than Skittles. And of course, yes, fiber, whatever. Follow me. Carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. That's the summation, that's what gives you the summation of your calorie intake. So whatever your calorie intake is for your goal, you can do whatever the hell you want. You can. Don't listen to these prep gurus and tell you that you can't have this or you can't have that, and that you gotta cut out all your carbs no, it's BS. On top of that, just as a quick aside, quick tangent, like again, carbohydrates. Yeah, that will probably, because when how I said it, how I do my contest prep for my clients and even myself, protein obviously matters. Well, so we set the calories. Protein matters first. Then we set the fat to how much fat, even how low can we go with fat to still be within like a healthy range, which we know to be about 1.4 to 1.6 grams per pound of lean body mass, okay? So with that said, if we know that that's a healthy range, I will absolutely stay at the low end of that range unless somebody actually really likes to eat more fat. Or if you're a smaller woman or even a smaller guy, and let's say 0.4 grams is really low, like 20, 30 grams of fat, I might, or maybe I'll bump that up to like 0.5, just to give you a little bit more fat to play with your meat and certain carb sources. But other than that, we get the protein and fat first, and then we fill the rest of your calories up with carbs. And wherever that sits, that's where it sits. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, we just follow it week by week, and that's it. You're gonna stall, and that's fine. You're gonna have a whoosh, and a whoosh just basically means, yeah, you're in a deficit. You already know you are, but you might plateau for a bit. Okay, well, you stick with it, and then guess what? Next thing you know, you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be like 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds lighter. It happens to everybody. I remember my contest prep, I was stuck at around 169 for like 2 weeks. And I was training, and my volume was increasing. So I knew that my energy output was higher than it was, but I wasn't moving. And then next thing you know, boom, I went from like 169 to like 167 overnight. And then it continued on. And then I had a nice little diet break, and that was that. So, one second. So don't get caught up in the semantics of the nonsense that these diet prep people are putting out there. It's not hard. It sucks over the long time because yes, you start to get fatigued and tired, and because of again, can't say it enough. It's the length of the deficit, the length of the dieting. That's what gets you feeling, tired. And then once you hit that stage, get the hell out of that diet. You don't need to be in it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get out of this unhealthy mindset that you're gonna just blow back up like the Michelin Man. Now, if you crash dieted and then got out of it, then sometimes that's what happens. But then again, you shouldn't have crash dieted into your show. Give yourself time. The best way to do it is this, is build, so diet, go into another build, build up those weak points that you feel that, would hurt you on stage if you didn't do that, and then diet back down. And when you look at yourself, you're pretty lean, then you can give yourself another like 16 weeks to be like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna pick this show because I think I'll be ready by then. And even then, don't marry a show. Don't, because life happens. And guess what? That plastic trophy, that Instagram photo is not worth your health. And if you don't want to be resentful of the fact that you contest prep dieted and you did that by crash dieting, do it right. So that's my rant on contest prep dieting and general fat loss for the most part. But make sure that when you do these things, you're smart about it. And you're with somebody that's not giving you some cookie cutter nonsense. That's not telling you, oh, here, have 4 ounces of tilapia, have a half a cup of oats, or a half cup of rice. You can switch out between the two. Have a cup of broccoli, and then here's my supplement. Here, take my diuretic, get it 10% off in my store. Just enter my name. No, stupid. No, that's stupid. It's dumb. It's not catered towards you. And you're not gonna enjoy prep or dieting in general. Best diet is the one that works for you. And that is it. I'm Coach Louie. If you like this video, like it. If you have any questions or comments, comment below. And make sure you subscribe because you're gonna learn a lot. Peace.